a full moon shining brightly overhead, you're looking live at Launch Pad 0A at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport on Wallops Island, Virginia, where Northrop Grumman's Antares rocket stands fully fueled, 133 feet tall, ready to launch 31 minutes from now to send the unpiloted Cygnus cargo craft into orbit on a 3-day journey to deliver some 4 tons of supplies and scientific experiments to the International Space Station. Following a last-minute scrub of last night's initial launch attempt, tonight's liftoff is set for 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Central Time, 9:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Eastern Time at the start of a 5-minute launch window. The weather for tonight's launch just couldn't be better. It is absolutely pristine at Wallops Island, just a few clouds at 4,500 feet, winds out of the northwest at 4 knots, temperature of about 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Everything is green across the board. And there is the target for the Artemis program coming up for NASA, the moon, with sights set on that destination to land the first woman and the next man on the surface of the moon in 2024. Good evening from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center. Flight controllers here are watching over the station as they do 24/7, 365, tending to its systems and the 3 crew members comprising the Expedition 63 crew. We'll talk more about them in a moment. Back at the Wallops Flight Facility, Northrop Grumman engineers are monitoring the countdown at this hour from the Range Control Center. They will be in control of the 9-minute climb to orbit for the 2-stage Antares rocket from liftoff to the point when the Cygnus resupply craft separates from the vehicle's second stage. They just completed a poll of all of the engineering positions just a moment or two ago. Everyone is go for launch. In Dulles, Virginia, another team of Northrop Grumman engineers are on duty as well, ready to take over the flight of Cygnus after spacecraft separation under the direction of Mission Director Zach Dwyer. They'll be following all of Cygnus's maneuvers during its 3-day trek to the International Space Station. Back here in Mission Control in Houston, the Orbit 3 team of flight controllers is on duty with the station crew members well into their sleep period for the night, as was the case last night.
Thank you, Rob. I'm excited to be back with you and our NASA TV viewers to see a successful Antares launch and Cygnus mission to the International Space Station.
Everything's looking great tonight, but before we get into all of that, walk us through last night's scrub. What was the cause? How did Northrop Grumman remedy the issue that brought us to this evening's launch attempt?
No problem, Rob. So last night during the countdown, the computer auto-aborted at approximately T-minus 2 minutes and 49 seconds when it received an off-nominal reading from the ground support equipment. The team tracked the automated abort to a software issue, and it was resolved. Nonetheless, launch scrubs for ground systems issues do sometimes occur as we place mission success and the safety of our team and the public above all other considerations. As can be seen from the numerous scrubs this launch has had this past week, including Delta IV and Falcon 9 due to weather and ground system faults, each and every countdown will not always result in a launch attempt, which is just simply part of the launch business. Our Northrop Grumman team is trained to respond professionally to scrub launch attempts in order to maintain Antares and Cygnus in a safe condition. We always quickly investigate the root cause if there's any issues and maintain readiness to launch as early as the next day. I just want to say what a great teamwork it was by the launch team last night and this morning to quickly respond to the scrub launch attempts and put us back in position to launch again less than 24 hours later. We are a go for tonight, so we're excited.
Stage of Antares at about the 9-minute, 9-second mark into the flight. The Ultraflex solar arrays on Cygnus are scheduled to be deployed about 2 hours and 8 minutes into the mission. We will not be on the air live during that activity. It's about a 30-minute procedure. We will, however, provide updates on the web on nasa.gov and the station blog site when solar array deploy is completed later this evening. If everything goes as planned, Cygnus, again, will arrive in the wee hours Monday morning at the International Space Station, arriving along the intersection called the R-bar, the radial vector, which is an imaginary line drawn between the International Space Station and the Earth. The Cygnus will arrive about 400 feet directly below the station and inchworm its way up to the point where Cassidy will use the robotic arm to reach out and grapple the resupply craft. The capture of Cygnus is scheduled right now at 4:20 a.m. Central Time, 5:20 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday morning.
And Ops 2 LC, countdown.
Good, LC.
Yeah, just be advised, step 386 will be required for today's op.
Copy that.
And LC, this is prop lead. Actual F1N level is 10 of 10.
Copy 10 of 10, 381, Core 1. Provide status on F1N level.
LC Core 1, countdown 1, standby.
As we approach the 17-minute mark into the countdown, propellant loading is complete. You see the venting at the interstage area of the two-stage Antares rocket. Everything continues to be green across the board at Wallops. The weather is perfect. Everything all set for Antares to begin its flight to deliver the Cygnus resupply vehicle to its preliminary orbit.
And CMDLC, countdown 1.
LC Core 1, countdown 1.
Go ahead, Core 1.
"90 seconds until launch."
T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds. T-minus 1 minute.
Well into the terminal count, T-minus 50 seconds and counting.
T-minus 30 seconds. Mark.
T-minus 15 seconds.
T-minus 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Engine start and liftoff. The SS Kulpna takes flight, sights set on the International Space Station. Pitch and roll programmer in.
Vehicle systems are nominal. Engines at 100%. Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal. Engines are steady and nominal. 100%. Altitude 20,000 feet.
1 minute into the flight, everything looking good on Antares.
Passing through max Q, attitude nominal. Engines at 100.
Antares passing through the area of maximum dynamic pressure.
50,000 feet. Attitude nominal. All vehicle subsystems are nominal.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark into the flight, everything looking good.
Just passing 100,000 feet. Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal. Engines remain at 100%. Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal.
Good reports from the Range Control Center at Wallops.
30 seconds to throttle down.
Throttle down is the precursor to main engine cutoff for the first stage. Coming up on the 3-minute mark into the flight.
Engines at 55% thrust.
Standing by for main engine cutoff on the first stage.
Main engine cutoff. Stage 1 separation. Attitude nominal.
Stage 1 separation confirmed from the Range Control Center. Antares flying straight and true.
Antares in coast phase until proper conditions for fairing separation and stage 2 ignition are achieved.
Fairing separation confirmed. Cygnus now exposed to the atmosphere as it continues its trek uphill to its preliminary orbit.
Stage 2 ignition.
This will be about a 2-minute 44-second burn of the second stage engine.
Attitude nominal. Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal. 140 kilometers.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark into the flight.
All systems continue nominal. Altitude 150 kilometers. All systems nominal.
The second stage burnout scheduled at about the 6-minute 51-second mark into the flight.
Altitude 170 kilometers, roughly 1 minute to stage 2 burnout. Altitude, 184 kilometers. All systems nominal. Roughly 30 seconds to stage 2 burnout.
Six minutes, 40 seconds into the flight, standing by for stage 2 burnout.
Stage 2 tail off. Stage 2 burnout.
And Cygnus has reached the preliminary orbital insertion.
Antares will coast for roughly 100 seconds prior to payload separation.
And as you heard, the next major event will be Cygnus's separation from the second stage.
Attitude nominal.
Cygnus has begun its journey to reach the International Space Station early Monday morning.
All vehicle subsystems nominal.
This is Mission Control Houston. To recap, the Northrop Grumman Antares rocket lifted off on time from the Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. Launch pad 0A at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport at 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Central Time, 9:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Eastern Time this evening. It was a perfect ride to orbit, sending the Cygnus resupply vehicle to its preliminary orbit en route to a 3-day rendezvous that will result in Cygnus arriving at the International Space Station early Monday morning. Our programming on Monday, October 5th, looks like this. We'll start our rendezvous and capture coverage for Cygnus at 2:45 a.m. Central Time, 3:45 a.m. Eastern Time on NASA television. Chris Cassidy, the station commander, NASA astronaut, will use the Canadarm2 robotic arm to reach out and capture Cygnus at 4:20 a.m. Central Time, 5:20 a.m. Eastern Time. We then will take a pause and come back a couple of hours later for installation coverage, where Cygnus will be turned over to the robotic ground controllers here in Houston to install and bolt Cygnus into place on the Earth-facing port of the Unity module of the International Space Station, with our installation coverage beginning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday morning. So with that, we'll wrap up our coverage. Coming up just a moment or two from now will be launch replays of tonight's liftoff of the Antares rocket from Wallops to send Cygnus into its preliminary orbit. For all of us here in Mission Control in Houston, have a safe weekend, and we'll see you once again on Monday morning. This is Mission Control Houston.